Welcome back. The Senate will resume debate this afternoon in the 10th attempt to decide on the divisive county revenue sharing formula that has split the House right down the middle. This comes after the 12-member mediation committee failed to reach consensus and instead presented two reports to the House leadership. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani also failed to guarantee the government's commitment to a progressive increment in the allocation of revenue from 316 billion shillings to 340 billion shillings in the next 3 financial years, as provided for in the budget policy statement. KTN senior political affairs reporter Patrick Amimo with the latest.
The Senate reconvenes with members still holding to the hardline positions over the controversial revenue sharing formula.
I am elected by Isiolo people to come and represent their interest here. And that is the reason why I'm opposing this amendment by the Committee of Finance. My county is losing 869 million with a budget of 4.2 million, which clearly means if this amendment goes through, Madam Speaker, we are going to close down our county as far as operation and development is concerned.
The 12-member committee that was to unlock the stalemate failed to agree after 2 weeks' talks. It ended up with 2 reports after the National Treasury failed to guarantee progressive increment of shareable revenue to county governments in the next 4 financial years. According to the order paper, the chairperson of the Finance and Budget Committee and Kirinyaga Senator Charles Kibiru will Tuesday afternoon move a motion seeking approval of the third basis for revenue allocation among counties based on mythical Linturi amendment, where equitable share not exceeding 270 billion shillings use the second formula, while any monies above 270 billion shillings be subjected to the new proposals. The Linturi amendment is backed by a majority of the senators for providing a win-win for counties. On Sunday, while at the home of Kakamega County Governor Wycliffe Oparanya in Emabole, Butere, ODM leader Raila Odinga rallied support for 1 man, 1 shilling and hit out at senators opposed to the new formula.
Wewe nasema tu wewe, mimi sitaki kunyima watoto pande hii, kulisha pande hii. Wewe umechaguliwa na watu wa Kakamega ndio watu. Kila mbunge anatetea watu yake.
I will not vote for a formula that is going to take away money from disadvantaged counties like Vihiga, Nyamira, Mandera, Turkana, Tana River. I will stand for the country and not my personal county.
The proposed third formula aims to align funding to the counties and the devolved functions. It also aims to incentivize counties to adhere to fiscal responsibility principles and optimize collection of own source revenue.
How does it feel the plate of ugali on the table is taken away from you and given to a county that is actually getting more than you?
Ukiona kama kuna senator watu wake wanapata pesa na nakataa, sio tia anapenda wale wengine zaidi. Kuna nuksi. Kuna swali. Ujiulize. Ujiulize. Hii kitu gani? Kuna swali. Sina swali? Kuna swali. Wewe nataka jibu.
Kaunti yetu hii ya Vihiga ilikuwa inapoteza pesa karibu milioni 500. Ni makosa sana sisi viongozi wa Kakamega na Bungoma kusema kwamba ati sisi tupokee pesa na mandugu zetu wa Vihiga wanapoteza. Ndiposa mmeona mimi nimechukua msimamo dhabiti. Nimesema even if Kakamega is benefiting, ni lazima tusimame na mandugu wetu wa Vihiga. Kwa sababu hatuwezi kubali Kakamega tunaendelea na Vihiga hapa hakuna hospitali. Kakamega tuko na mabarabara na Vihiga hapa hakuna barabara.
Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
Well, Patrick Amimo now joins us live from our city centre studios as the Senate resumes debate this afternoon. Amimo, 10th sitting, will there be 10th time lucky? Amimo, can you hear me? Seem to have a problem there getting our reporter Patrick Amimo, but it is a 10th sitting there for the Senate. Remember, there was a special committee and 12-member committee that was put together in a bid to solve the stalemate there in the revenue sharing. That committee failed to reach a decision, and so 2 reports were given to the House leadership, and they are expected to today decide on whether they will be adopting either of those 2 reports. Of course, the bigger issue has been that there will be winners and losers, and many of the losing counties are opposed to the revenue sharing formulas that have been forwarded. So the meeting today comes where senators will be attempting for the 10th time to debate and approve the formula. And according to sources in the committee leadership there, which is headed by Speaker Kenneth Lusaka, the Senate is trying to convince the divided committee to support a disputed formula that cuts allocation to 18 counties by about 17 billion shillings. Let's speak now live to Patrick Amimo. Amimo, we've seen this happening, on national TV 9 times. It is a record 10th sitting now. What are we expecting this afternoon?
The Senate, after the 1-month recess, which we saw at least they attempt to make special sittings to discuss this shareable revenue formula that is contentious, they failed to agree. That's why we are this afternoon we are looking at the 10th attempt where lined up, the motion that is lined up is that by Mithika Linturi, where they had, the senators at least 3 weeks ago had agreed to make changes to that proposal by Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja, where now Mithika Linturi had proposed that 270 billion shillings of that, out of the 316.5 billion shillings, be equitable share, yet then any amount that is above that for this financial year, that is 46.5 billion shillings, that be subjected to the 3rd formula. But 270 billion shillings remain as per the 2nd formula allocation. And this particular amendment by Linturi, when it was put to vote, 25 senators supported it against 22 who rejected it. And these particular senators who supported this particular amendment by Mithika Linturi is that they took it as a win-win situation because they referred to those amendments as a Kofi Annan bill, because looking at it, the winners and losers are not that, the disparities are not very, very far apart. And that's why at least a majority of the senators for these Mithika Linturi amendments that now cap it at 270 billion as equitable share. But then besides this, we have, when they adjourned last time, they had an amendment by nominated Senator Priscilla Were, who had also proposed that we have at least the current 2nd formula applies for the 2020-2021 financial year. Then in the subsequent years, we have at least a 3rd formula apply where revenue will have risen to 348 billion shillings. But then whereas amendments might hit a snag, because during the 2 weeks when the special team, the 12-member mediation team had been given to look at those proposals, they held meetings with the National Treasury to see whether the government will be willing to increase these particular budget allocations to county governments, that the vertical sharing of revenue between the national government and county governments. But it's apparently the National Treasury was non-committal on whether this money will be there or not. So that's why we saw that mediation team present 2 reports to the House leadership and tell them now to seek the way forward on those particular proposals. But as it were, the senators are still maintaining their hardline positions, those for and those against, as the matter still remains as it is. So we still have the Team Kenya and the rest of the members. So because the National Treasury could not really guarantee that the revenue counties will get more than the 316 that has been set aside for this particular financial year. And probably this also is informed of the fact that early this year we saw the coronavirus pandemic hit the globe, and Kenya was equally affected, and it has affected business and also revenue collection. So probably it will be a really far shot for the government to think that it might generate more revenue than what was allocated this financial year. That's maybe the dilemma that the CS Treasury Ukuria Tan is facing. And we saw, even prior to this, the last financial year, there was a pull and push between the national government and county government. When the Senate had wanted the national government to surrender 335 billion shillings to county governments, but the national government then said the much it can do was 310 billion shillings. Last year we saw the pull and push between Senate and national government draw up to September of that last year, and the matter ended up in the Supreme Court of Kenya, where they said, okay, now the Supreme Court of Kenya, after that, they rule how to go about this particular matter. But then the National Assembly and Senate agreed to 316 billion shillings. But then, given the position that each senator is not moving ground, I think the best thing they can do is to call this particular motion to vote and agree on what they will. Whether the government buys the bullet or not, let them be with the matter as it is. But then before that, then that Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, which the leadership of Senate thinks that maybe now that it's before the Senate, they want to discuss it. This is the one that will allow the National Treasury to give at least 50% of this of the budget to county governments. It will allow county governments spend 50% of their budget as they wait for the senators to agree. But from the look of things, senators will not agree, so it's a waste of time. It's rather Speaker Kenneth Lusaka be firm and put this matter to the vote, and we end this matter once and for all, so that the county governments proceed with the money that will be awarded for them, whether with the second formula or third formula, but as per the senators agreed, voting on the floor, because a further delay will just be a waste of time and further draining the energy.
Well, we all hope for that resolution that will pass a formula to determine how counties share that national cake. Patrick Amimo, the live for us from our city centre studios. Still on the same, Nyeri Town MP Ngunjiri Wambugu has also weighed in on the formula and the standoff in the Senate. Let's listen in.
We have seen